We start recording. Oh, well, I can't see you again. You hit recording and I couldn't see you.
Okay.
Where did you go? You were just there.
Video number 3. You see
There.
me now?
Yeah, I see you now.
So we were talking about being summoned to headquarters in 2012. So that happened in 2012.
Okay.
That's when I started allowing myself to go, And that also was when my brother and I began to accept that our relationship, it was a matter of time before our relationship with our mom was going to be pulled out from under us.
Okay. Okay. How long has it been since you have seen her?
Since I've seen her?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, probably since 2015.
Okay. All right. Have you talked to her since then? Like on the phone, or have you been able
The last time I talked to her was the same year my dad passed away. So the year my dad died was the same year I lost my mother as well. We lost all of us lost our, well,
yeah.
She was still talking to 3 of us.
Okay.
Up until 2016. And then that year, Rama told her to stop talking to all of the rest of us. And so the rest of us lost both of our parents in that year.
Yeah. That's just so shitty.
Because I just remember, I remember the feeling, like getting ready to bury my dad and just remembering the feeling of sitting there sobbing and just realizing that all of my hopes and dreams for a reunited family as a whole was being buried with him.
You know, I think that is something that, so I was very fortunate when I, got out so early that I was able to have that unity with my family. But I do see that very, very, very much so something that all my biological siblings have craved, wanted, and they are finally able to have it, and I see pretty much all of us kids that grew up there, that is the one thing that we have all wanted the most and craved for the most was
because we didn't have it.
Yeah. I mean, well, we would get a glimpse of it and then it'd be taken away. And that was part of his, psychological stuff, just like with food and bathrooms, telling us when we can eat, when we can't eat. And, on the weekends, how we had to go how long without eating until he cooked for us, or, it was time for us to eat, and I mean, sometimes we would go date Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday without eating anything. If we were lucky, we could sneak something from the moms who had babies.
I think it was October of last year. A couple of my siblings went to Shawano to try to locate my mom. Because we had gotten word that our mother had had a heart attack earlier that year. Okay. And we had not heard from her. We had not heard whether we had heard that she had not gotten medical attention, and that somebody who was a doctor in the cult, but an OB/GYN
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think they're a heart doctor.
practiced cardiology on her. What the fuck? And so,
Well,
because
let's talk about that. Let's talk about what doctors were looked at. Like, let's talk about how medicine and like
well, just
we
a second.
both doctors.
Well, we as her children have the right to know if she's okay.
Yeah.
And if she's getting medical attention. We have the right to know.
Yeah.
So I think 3 of them went to Shano because she no longer lives in our hometown because she just up and left. Okay. And so they went to Shano to look for her. And surprise of surprises, she was happened to be out in the garden. And my baby sister goes, "Mommy, mommy," like a little girl running to her mother.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? This is like, these are like stories of like children of war.
Well, we were pretty much.
And then my mother starts yelling, "Help, help, help, help."
Like they were there to kidnap her.
Fucking kidnap her.
Yeah.
All that is more fucking rejection.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Do you really truly think that
that's how brainwashed they have her?
I was going to say, like, do you think like she's now at a point where sometimes almost it's too hard for them to come out of it? You know what I mean? Like, they're almost afraid to come out of it. Like maybe they feel like they've done so much bad, or
I don't know what they think anymore. I
have
a normal brain.
That's true. That's very true.
So I brought my kids to Shano.
Okay.
So I'll admit that. Some of them remember it too. I put him in all the Shano get up, the skirts and all of that crap too. I brought them. And I didn't sleep like I slept. We slept in a hotel and on beds.
Okay.
And my mom asked me one time, said something about, I don't even know how the conversation came up, but something came up about, what if other children make fun of them, or, because of how we were treated, having rocks thrown at us and mud and being spit at and, whatever. My response to my mom was,
what's that?
Nobody will dare, because I'll fight God to protect my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my mom said, "Oh, Michelle, don't say that." I said, "No, I'm serious. I'll fight God to protect my children."
Yeah, you know the story where...
And hold on. I have a friend. The friend you talked to today. He said to me, "Michelle, nobody will ever tell you to stop talking to your children or to stop whatever with your children. Do you know why?" I said, "Why?" He says, "Because everybody knows you won't do it."
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not a soul in this world that's going to tell me what the fuck to do about my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is that because nobody did that for me?
I think that plays a part in it. Because I raised my kids, like I never tell my kids what to do. I always tell them what I think is the best option. and then I always play out the pros and cons. So as stupid as, when Wyatt was very little, he was, you know, a little chunky boy, and he loved his ice cream, but he's lactose intolerant, and the weight gain and the lactose intolerant, but he liked his ice cream. So I would tell him, okay, well, you have to make a decision. Pretty soon, mom's not going to be around to tell you what to do. So you're going to have to do this on your own, So are you going to go pig out at Dairy Queen, or should we go just get a little something, small something, satisfy your urge, and then, move on or whatever, and lay out all the pros and cons to each one of those choices, pigging out, getting just a little something, or ignoring the craving altogether and going home. And then I would lay out all the options, pros and cons to all three. And then I'd say, okay, you make a decision. And then based off of his decision, I'll be like, okay, all right. And 99.9% of the time, he would pick the middle one, a little bit,
But that's teaching your kids
choices and how to be.
It's teaching them choices, and it's also like I also taught my kids how to negotiate. Like it's okay for them. Like if I say be home at 9:00, it's okay for them to say, "Can I be home at 9:30?" I mean, 8. I don't know, a different time.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's okay to negotiate because life is about negotiation too.
Yes. Well, and that's all part of communication. We were forced not to communicate. And so communication, we don't know. I mean, honestly, when I got out in my first relay, I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't even know what communication really truly was. I didn't know how to speak up and say what I felt or thought. Like, I just didn't know. And really, it was detrimental to my first couple of relationships, including my first marriage. And that's one of the things that I have worked so hard in with this marriage here is I am brutally honest with him because I'm so afraid that that will like play a part, you know what I mean? And I don't want that to be part of our marriage.
I thought being honest, I wasn't taught communication, and yeah. So then I thought, okay, well then I have to really be honest. So then I was really honest, and that still fucked me. So I'm not. So now I'm in an area of my life where I'm like, maybe I'll just tell the whole world all about my life, and then
maybe they'll understand.
Right, and then
be honest,
and then people can just be my friend whether they fucking like me or whether they not, and they can just, I don't know, like some people hear the truth and they don't care. Other people hear the truth and they're like, whoa, she's psychotic.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
they can't handle me.
Not everybody can handle me. I'm sometimes too blunt or too out there. And, sometimes even my husband says, hey, taper it down, and it's like, well, it's the truth. So everything I say is the truth. And I know like it's hard for some people to admit, but
you know what? I'd rather have real friends, like people who speak real and who are real.
Yes. And like the other thing too,
and people that I would have to guess what they mean.
Yes. The other thing too that I have to say is, I'm more so friends, like my best friends are people who don't agree with really anything that I wouldn't say not agree, but they have their own opinions and we're able to discuss them without any attitude or and we can agree to disagree and there's no problems with it. And like everybody believes the things they believe for a reason, the things that they've experienced. So I just like I tell my kids, nobody can knock you for the feelings you have. Nobody. Your feelings are your feelings. The only thing that people can knock you for is your reaction to your feelings.
Yeah.
So sometimes your reactions to your feelings can be, like angry, like you have to keep those in check. Yes, you can be angry,
Yeah,
but
but your anger is a secondary emotion. That's what I
yes,
tell my kids.
yes. Well, just like being scared is the same emotion as being excited. It's the same chemical that's in your brain for when you're scared and nervous, is that same chemical is being produced when you are excited and like have butterflies in your stomach. So I always tell, my kids, you're not scared, you're excited. Like, think of it that way, turn it around, because it's the exact same chemical that's being produced. I really truly, it's been like, I feel bad, but I um throw science at my kid because I never ever want them to ever come back at me and say, well, you said this and that was totally off the rocker. Like, I don't know say this. So like I remember when Wyatt was like 4 years old, Mama, is Santa really real? And me not knowing how to answer because I like swore I would never lie to him. And then I said to him, well, what do you think? And he goes, Santa can't be real. Nana and you don't have the same writing, and Santa's paper is here at our house as Nana's house. And I was like, hot damn diggity. Thank goodness I didn't lie to that child, because, you know, and so then I had to go through and like, explain to him, okay, all right, yeah,
What a
Santa's not
smart kid.
real, but then like, how do you, I had to go to explain, if you can't tell the other kids at school now, um, so yeah, that was
Yeah,
quite,
because their parents are still lying to them.
yeah. But, I've always just really, truly tried to parent the way I wish I would have been parented, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And
Same.
the skills of like reasoning, um, not being gullible. Don't believe everything everybody says. Just because it comes out of somebody's mouth does not mean that it's the truth. You need to research it, look it up. And then like I even have taught them how to research, like, what do you look for when you research? Well, who wrote it? Why did they write it? What's behind them writing it? Are there any bias on that? And then, like, because truly, in order to find the truth, that's what you have to do. And honestly, that's what I found all the crap about Rama was I just started following money to the school in India. I just started following. I didn't even know like all of this stuff existed on the web. Like that was the other part that blew my mind, was all of this stuff is online. Like all you have to do is Google the shit and it's there. And that's what I started doing. And then like one thing after another, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me.
We were talking about our, like all of the adults and how we feel about them and how we can't really understand, but we kind of do.
Yeah.
And how that's so confusing.
Yes.
It's so confusing. It's so confusing when I really try to think about it. I feel this way, but like I feel like I'm two different people.
Yes.
Like
It's almost like you have to, in order to truly comprehend everything that we experienced.
like
You
I feel like I feel like I have to flip back and forth. I flip into a child me, and then I'm an adult me.
Yes.
And then I have to go back and forth in order to live and process. So
Yeah.
to be in the real world and to be okay and to heal, I have to be in my adult body, and I have to, and
Think
I
of
know
logically.
I think through everything logically. Like I know that they were also abused. I know that they were suckered, and I know that all of the blame lies on Rama Behera's shoulders.
Yeah.
I know that, and I know that I have met many of them now that have come out, and they're all like moms and dads to us. And
Yeah.
I mean, if I have to reference them, I just say one of my moms or one of my dads. It sounds strange, but how else are we gonna? How else do I reference them? Because somebody from the outside isn't gonna know who this person or this person or this person is, because our
Yeah.
families are so intermingled and so intertwined,
Yeah.
and they're just kind of a part of our lives, and in such a way that nobody else will really ever understand. And so as an adult me, it's like it's a burden that's just gone and it's just lifted and it's whatever, you know.
There's still a part of you that's a little girl though that wants her mom. There-
There's still a part of me though that is still processing
Yes. I mean, just think
the
about it.
bullshit that I went through, and I'm still remembering things that happened. And so when I'm remembering things that happened, I'm remembering the people involved, and I'm
Yeah.
pissed off at these people who are involved.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with these people? You had it before.
Yeah.
You fucking knew that was wrong. How did you not know that wasn't right? That wasn't wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's
You
the
know,
same.
like shit was done to me that I should be dead. And adults stood around and watched it happen.
Happen. Yeah. I know. I
And
know.
right now, my emotion is because I'm a child.
Yes. Yes. That's what I mean by some
Because
days.
I'm channeling a child. And so
That's what.
people who don't have credentials behind their name would say that I'm like multi personality or something. No, you
Yeah.
don't
Well,
have
these
you
same
don't have
people.
credentials behind your name. I don't have that.
These are the same people that name call us when they don't like what we do. So
Right.
you can't give them any credit or let them hold any water to you. You
No.
know. But I'm
So
serious. That's literally, that is how I have felt. Like there is the little girl inside of me who is just pissed off and angry and mad, and like, how come no adults were there to protect me? There should have been. I mean, I can count hundreds of adults that should have been there to help me that didn't. Why? That's still a question. I don't think that question will ever go away. It's just an acceptance I'm gonna have to, you know, slowly
radical
work,
acceptance.
you know. I still, there's days where that acceptance isn't very you know, well, good, or
Acceptable.
I get mad, and then usually someone will talk me down, or help me out, and I'll be like, okay, all right, I know, okay, I'm out of that emotional roller coaster right there, and I'm back to being logic again. But yeah, I mean, especially on days where I wake up and I had a bad nightmare, or on days where I wake up and something happened or something's out of the norm and it made me panic a little bit. And then those days I'm not so logical, I'm more emotional. Or PMS days. I mean, I'm just saying,
I never had that shit.
PMS days for me, man.
Those days are just excuses to be a bitch.
Oh, well, then I.
That's what I told my kids too. Just because
Oh,
you got that going on doesn't mean you have the right to be a bitch to everybody else.
oh,
Go to bed.
yeah, I disappear for a couple of days because boy, I wake up in my face. You don't even have to, just the look on my face. I'm just like, "Mm." And I tell my kids, look, my tone of voice is very nasty today. Ignore my tone of voice. I know it is very bitchy. I get it.
Yeah.
Ignore it, But on those days where my emotions are high and I'm not thinking logically, um, I have, you know, And I'm emotional those days anyway. So on those days, a lot of that can happen if I'm not being very logical and something has triggered a flashback or something like that. So I really truly do go back and forth. And then, like sometimes I'll be talking to a family member who is out of the cult and has been out for a very long time, and they're asking questions or whatever. And I almost get angry at them too. Like, I know I shouldn't. And
Like,
then
but what were they gonna do?
I know that's what I mean. Like, I shouldn't get mad. Like, I shouldn't get angry at them. But almost sometimes I do. I even get angry at them because I feel like it was an adult that knew something was going on. And if enough people had band together, they could have taken it apart. But there wasn't enough people to
The
band together.
stormtroopers?
Yeah. Oh, so I want to tell you about this Halloween costume thing that I was talking with my biological siblings doing. And I totally think that we should do.
Oh my God.
So I want to dress up as a barrel, the water barrel. I used to put this in. So I want to dress up as the water barrel.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
my brother, I want him to dress up as like Rama with the cord.
With a whip? Oh my
With the
gosh.
cord, yep, with the electric wire. And then whatever other punishment that, we can like put together as a costume.
Why does it all have to be punishments? Why can't it be jokes too?
Anything from there. Like we can even dress up. Like I was like, I'll even put on the dress and the skirt or whatever and go as, like
I
this.
want to be a paper towel girl.
Oh, see. Okay, so this is what I was thinking. We need to do like a reunion during Halloween and have everybody dress up as their like.
Why does it have to be Halloween? I hate Halloween.
Okay,
Why
well,
can't it just be a reunion and we can dress up as something?
there you go. We could do that. I was just thinking Halloween because that was the idea that came out.
I hate Halloween.
I've never. Well, I shouldn't say that. I enjoyed Halloween while I lived at home because mom and dad were into it big. But I haven't really done a whole lot of Halloween with the kids. They're not really into it. So I'm not really into it.
Screw the candy. I can buy my own.
Oh, well, it's never helped that I'm scared of the dark, still at this age. I am. I'm
Yeah.
terrified of the dark. Like, and I think that has something to do with being little and at Rama's. The dark was so,
Yeah.
yeah, I hated the dark. Ghosts could get you. The spirits could come and get you at that time.
Yeah. Well,
Thing he used to say to us when we would to keep us from walking over to the other houses at night when we spent the night.
oh.
Keep us from wandering.
Did you see the cover picture on our channel? YouTube channel?
Yeah, did. Oh,
Did you know what that is?
I believe that's him, right?
The cover picture is the whole picture of the whole headquarters.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll have to go look when we're done. I also wanted to say, I'm really excited about the outpour that we have gotten and
I
the
know.
positive
So
feedback.
many people.
Yeah. And just the amount of people are saying we can't come forward and talk yet, but thank you so much for giving us a voice. Thank you so much for, being able to put into words what we've been wanting to say. And
Or it's just validating that
yeah,
you are speaking and
yes. Yeah.
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 You know what became very validating to me was reading books by like people who had come out of the FLDS
Oh, yes.
and that were ruled by Warren Jeffs
Yeah.
and places like that, because their theology and the way that he ruled, it was so much like us. Like they couldn't wear red, like we couldn't wear red.
Yeah.
Like all of these stupid little nuanced things were the same. And I thought, oh my God, there's other people out there that lived like that. Like, we're not the only insane little group.
Yeah. So my first movie that I ever saw, or video or anything like that I ever saw, that made me, like, literally, I was sitting on my bed and I was watching it and I started bawling my eyes out because it was the first time ever anybody had put the word cult and literally spoken like the words from my brain. And it was Leah Remini. Her
Scientology.
Scientology, one of her very first things
Yep.
that she ever, like, came out, and they weren't just talking about Scientology, they were talking about a couple other ones too at the same time. And when she started talking, it was like boom, deja vu, boom, deja vu,
Yes.
boom, deja vu, boom, deja, and it was so crazy that I was like, I was yelling to my husband, get over here, watch this. You need to watch this. This is what I'm talking about. This is it. This is it right here. Right. This is what she said.
Yep.
I'd find it. I'd watch it again. And I'll be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe somebody's putting words to it. And that is exactly
Yes.
what it is. And so
I
that was
watched it. Yep.
very,
I watched that too because it was like spot on. It's like
yeah.
all of these leaders go to the same school.
Yeah. Yes. 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 I mean, it was just mind blowing. And I think that was the very first time that I could admit to myself that I had grown up in a cult.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could
I don't remember when I was able to allow myself to say that I was in a cult either, because when we were growing up, we weren't allowed to say that we were in a cult. It was like blasphemy.
Yeah, we weren't a cult. We were
Like we were a group.
yeah, group of Christians.
We were a group of
Not
people, or
now we're not
anything but a cult.
Christians anymore.
Well, you know what? You got to call shit what it is. It's a shit show. If
Yeah,
it's not a cult, it's a shit show.
it's a shit show. Yeah.
You got to take their pick. Do you want to be a cult or a shit show?
Oh, they're both. They're both. Yeah. It's just crazy. But you know
Yeah.
what? It's gotten to the point now. I really truly I just hope that everybody that is now, like, getting out, and everybody that is now, like, everybody has their own time and realization about, like, things that have happened. It's almost like an onion. You have to, like, peel layers of it, back. And sometimes it's just so horrendous that some of them experience that you just, well, truly, you're not. It's not until you're in your 40s and 50s that you're fully able
Mm-hmm.
to comprehend everything that happened. And
Yeah.
I are finally, now there's enough of us that are in our 30s, 40s, and 50s now that I think we are validating one another, and we're finally able to, like, step up and speak out and maybe stop this so this doesn't carry on to another generation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I want this to stop now. This has been what, 3 generation for us?
We're
And
on the third generation.
yeah, and it needs
This
to,
is, we have to end this one.
yeah,
This
we can't
is
let it
the
carry on.
third one. This is the third video though we have to end.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right, I gotta run back downstairs, so